A snail who wanted to become a race car driver. This dream was virtually impossible to achieve, unless it could mutate. And Bert just happened to mutate due to an accident. On this day, when he returned home, he discovered his two eyes were glowing. He was so frightened that he quickly retreated. As a result, his snail shell also lit up with a red light. Even more amazingly, he could receive signals Bert couldn't immediately adapt to his new body. He hopped and jumped onto the road. A little boy who saw the scene rushed over on his bicycle. This activated Bert's super speed ability. He scared away the little boy by running extremely fast, but he got too excited and crashed into the vegetable garden. The snail elder angrily expelled him and his brother from the garden. From then on, the two brothers were homeless. But suddenly, one day they were caught by Paul. The two brothers were taken by Paul to a snail racing arena. People here loved watching snail races. As Paul announced the start, all the competing snails rushed forward at full speed. But in reality, just after crossing the starting line, Bert's brother got scared and turned to flee. Others mocked Paul for finding a stupid snail, but when Bert activated his ability, everyone was dumbfounded. Bert rushed hundreds of meters in one breath. After circling around several times, he came back with a perfect stop. Paul was overjoyed. He never expected to have picked up such a treasure by the roadside. From then on, Paul kept Bert as a pet and used Bert's superpowers to attract many customers to his bakery. Paul's brother was very happy about this, but Paul wasn't satisfied. He had a bold idea. He wanted to take Bert to participate in a car racing competition, but the entry fee was $20,000. Fortunately, his friends supported him. Friends contributed money to support Paul. So the next day, Paul set off with Bert Friends' specially modified Bert's shell and added a stylish wing. However, getting a snail to participate in a race wasn't so easy. Paul was treated like a fool and driven away by the guards. Paul was very disappointed, and just as he was about to give up, Bert suddenly activated his superpower. He rushed toward the racetrack with Paul. The organizers ordered the guards to drive him out. Paul quickly put Bert down. Bert zoomed like a blue lightning bolt. Everyone was amazed by this sight. When Bert completed the speed test, the results showed he was only 4 miles slower than the champion. Bert thus qualified for the competition and was reported by major media outlets. But even though Bert became an internet-famous snail, the organizers still refused to let Bert compete on the grounds that he wasn't human, just when it seemed they had completely lost their chance. The previous champion, who was Bert's idol, stood up to plead for Paul. Seeing this, the organizers had no choice but to agree.